how I feel like I played. Um, I know every day is room for improvement in a lot of different areas in my game, so I never feel, I would say, full. I would say I'm always hungry. And it's a lot of
The NFL is no stranger to shocking headlines, but sometimes a story breaks that doesn't just grab attention, it stops the entire football world in its tracks. That's exactly what happened when Adam Schefter, the league's most trusted insider, dropped a bombshell that Cleveland Browns fans never saw coming. His report was simple, but its impact was seismic. Shedeur Sanders, the rookie quarterback who had become one of the most talked-about players of the offseason, was being released. Not traded, not elevated, not hidden in the depth chart. Flat, out-released. And yet, in the very next breath, the Browns planned to bring him back on the practice squad. To some, it sounded like routine roster maneuvering. To others, it was a betrayal. A humiliating fall for a player who had shown flashes of brilliance just days earlier. And in the middle of it all, one question loomed larger than any other. Was this really about football, or was it something much deeper? From the very moment Shedeur Sanders entered the NFL, the spotlight on him was merciless. Drafted in the 5th round, his name was bigger than his draft position.
aspects in football that you could get better at. It's weight room, it's knowing the plays, it's physically, it's throwing different. You can always get precise on more things. So I feel like I put in my day's work, but I know I'm far from where I want to be.
Tommy Reese talked about
His reputation louder than his experience. He was the son of Deion Sanders, one of the greatest athletes to ever touch a football field, and because of that, expectations weren't just high, they were suffocating. To many scouts, Shedeur wasn't drafted for what he could do on the field, but for what his name could sell. Off of it? A flashy pick, they said, a marketing stunt in a league where legacies matter as much as touchdowns. And because of that, from day one, he wasn't given the grace most rookies get. Every throw was scrutinized, every mistake magnified, every ounce of his presence weighed against the shadow of his father. But for Shedeur, the doubt wasn't new. He had been questioned before, criticized before, told he wasn't built for the stage he stood on. And every time, he fought back.
I say spiritually, that's why I say I've grown the most. After draft, getting closer to God and definitely talking to him consistently, having a real relationship with him. That's why I say I've grown the most at.
At Colorado, he proved he could carry a program, deliver under pressure, and shine when the lights were brightest. That same fight carried into his first days in Cleveland. He arrived not just to play football, but to prove that he wasn't a name. He was a quarterback. Yet despite that hunger, Kevin Stefanski's depth chart told a very different story. From the start of camp, Shedeur was buried, slotted as QB3 behind Dylan Gabriel. For fans, it was confusing. For Shedeur, it was insulting. For critics, it was confirmation of what they already believed, that he wasn't ready. Then came preseason, his first real taste of NFL competition, and the moment that should have silenced some of those doubters only seemed to deepen the drama. Against the Rams, under the lights of Los Angeles, Shedeur took the field. He knew the whispers. He knew Schefter's looming report. He knew that in the high-stakes world of roster cuts, every snap was a battle for survival. His first series showed nerves, tight footwork, hesitant reads, a moment that looked like it could unravel fast.
This job.
It's real fun having those guys in the room, though, because we all are quarterbacks. We all feel, similar ways, but nobody, always talks about it. So Joe's the old guy in the room, so I joke with Joe all the time.
The Rams' defense came at him with NFL speed, edge pressure that dared him to crumble. For a moment, it seemed like the critics were about to get what they wanted, another rookie quarterback folding in prime time. But Shedeur didn't fold. Something shifted. He settled into the pocket, stopped aiming his throws, and just started playing. Then came the moment that lit up the Browns' sideline. Under immense pressure, the pocket closing in around him, Shedeur rolled to his right, kept his eyes downfield, and fired a dart. The ball cut through 2 defenders and landed perfectly in his receiver's chest. It wasn't just a completion, it was a statement. A throw that demanded respect. A glimpse of the poise, the confidence, and the natural fire that set him apart. In that moment, it felt like Shedeur belonged, and the rest of his night carried the same defiance. Quick reads, gutsy scrambles, and a refusal to play scared.
Every day I see him. And Kenny, he had his experiences throughout his career overall, so then we just share a lot of the same things. And Dylan, of course, we're the same age group, you know. Those guys are older. So
He wasn't perfect, but he was fearless. And for a rookie quarterback, fearless is everything. That's why when Schefter's tweet went live hours later, the reaction wasn't calm, it was fury. Browns fans flooded social media with outrage. They had just watched Shedeur put together one of the most promising performances of the preseason. Now the same organization that drafted him was ready to release him? The comments spoke volumes. "You don't cut Shedeur after that Rams game," one fan wrote. Another mocked the Browns' plan to slide him onto the practice squad, saying, "This isn't Madden. That man deserves reps." The dog pound was divided, torn between fans trying to trust the front office and those who felt betrayed by it. Inside the locker room, the reaction wasn't much different. Players who had caught his passes in practice, who had felt the energy he brought onto the field, were stunned.
see him or they mic'd up or anything like that, all that stuff is real. That's real questions, but I don't know, because it'd be a spur in the moment, you know, and then like after that, then okay, it's time to lock back in. Like our minds are always consistently and constantly moving, so.
Receivers admitted privately that his touch and timing made him their favorite quarterback to catch from. Even veterans, usually reluctant to buy into rookies too quickly, were caught off guard. To them, this wasn't a simple numbers game. It was politics, roster math, a cold decision from a front office that didn't match what they were seeing on the field. Kevin Stefanski, as always, kept his poker face. He told reporters that every decision was made in the best interest of the team, but his body language said more than his words. He knew this would spark backlash, and yet the move was made anyway. The national media wasted no time pouring gasoline on the fire. Local Cleveland reporters had already raised eyebrows, but once Schefter's report made it official, debate shows across the country pounced. Did the Browns just sabotage their own rookie quarterback? Colin Cowherd claimed it proved what he had always believed, that the league never bought into Shedeur Sanders. Others saw it differently, framing the move as a dangerous but calculated chess play.
Just how to get through the reads quicker and those type of things. And I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, let me know what you think, like what I need to do. So it's like he's seen it, he played it, and like he.
Hide him on the practice squad, they argued, and maybe the Browns could develop him without the pressure of the spotlight. But the gamble was obvious. If another team claimed him off waivers, Cleveland wouldn't just lose a rookie. They'd lose the chance at developing what could one day be their franchise quarterback. And that risk is real. Because while Cleveland might think they can sneak Sanders back onto the practice squad, the rest of the NFL was watching. Scouts saw what he did against the Rams. They saw the composure, the arm strength, the flashes of brilliance. Quarterback. Depth is gold in this league, and all it takes is one general manager with vision to say, why let Cleveland bury him when we can develop him ourselves? If that happens, the Browns will have handed over a potential star for free.
Well, it was good that I grown up Little League and all that stuff under center, so it bring me back to Little League days. So I got a good foundation. And now I definitely am going to improve on that, but I have a good.
The stakes aren't just high for Sanders, they're massive for Stefanski. Fans are already questioning his judgment. How can you bench then cut a quarterback who keeps showing growth under fire? Players are watching too, and nothing fractures a locker room faster than the sense that talent is being ignored for politics. For a franchise that has spent decades struggling with identity, this decision feels like more than roster math. It feels like a statement about what kind of team they want to be. Do they value performance, or do they value control? The plan on paper is simple. Release Shedeur Sanders, let him clear waivers, then stash him on the practice squad. But football is never that clean. Because the second his name hits that waiver wire, every other franchise gets their shot. Imagine the Saints swooping in, or the Falcons, Raiders, even the Cowboys. The headlines would write themselves. The Browns' calculated gamble would turn into national humiliation. And even if Sanders clears waivers, the story doesn't end there. A competitor like Shedeur isn't built to spend his career on a practice squad.
Solid foundation and just prep for pro day and all that different type of stuff really make me more comfortable with everything. Everything in life, in any aspect, is going to be a challenge. So it's just, are you going to be the one over?
He's not built to fade quietly. He's built to fight. And sooner or later, whether in Cleveland or somewhere else, he's going to get that shot. Meanwhile, the Browns' quarterback room is under pressure of its own. Gabriel and Pickett may have the upper hand today, but every bad throw, every interception, every stalled drive is going to fuel the chance. The fans have already chosen their favorite. They want Sanders. And if he's buried while the offense struggles, the outcry will only grow louder. For Stefanski, already walking a fine line with fans and ownership, that kind of pressure could become unbearable. So where does this all go? There are two paths in front of Shedeur Sanders now. One sees him buried in Cleveland, hidden on a practice squad, waiting for a chance that may never come. The other sees him stolen away by another team willing to unleash him, willing to bet on his fire. Either way, the Browns' season may never look the same. From draft night to training camp, from his flashes against the Rams to Schefter's stunning report, Shedeur Sanders' NFL journey has been anything but ordinary. He's been doubted, dismissed, buried, and now released. Yet somehow, every twist has only fueled the fire around him. The Browns may believe they can control the narrative.
I'm managing it real well. Yeah. Overall, it's a mentality. It's mental. It's a lot of people in certain situations in their own life, that may not be at the forefront, that maybe.
But all they've really done is light a fuse. Fans are outraged. Teammates are whispering. The national media is circling. And every team in the league knows one thing. Shedeur Sanders is available. That's not just a transaction. It's a warning. A warning that Cleveland may have underestimated the one quarterback who could change everything. And here's the truth. This story isn't over. Not even close. Whether he clears waivers or is scooped up by another team, Shedeur's next step has the power to define not just his career, but the Browns' season itself. If he stays and rises, Cleveland will be forced to reckon with how they nearly lost him. If he leaves and thrives elsewhere, the decision will haunt the franchise for years. Either way, the cut won't be remembered as just another roster move. It will be remembered as a turning point. Because no matter where he lands, one thing has already been made clear. Shedeur Sanders isn't going away. He's not just a name. He's not just a project. He's a quarterback fighting to be seen. And when the lights shine brightest, all the critics, all the doubters, and even the Browns themselves will have no choice but to face the truth.